in the morning and the other one was printed in the afternoon. I made a note on the one
I gave your life.
Good evening. Welcome to the quarterly budget review meeting. We'll be working on the quarterly and then tying up some loose ends before we have the joint meeting at 6:30 with the Board of Selectmen. Everybody got their quarters last meeting, so should have had time to review it. I just have a couple of things that I saw that maybe I need clarified, and that was right on the front under town halls on number 11, the electrician.
Correct. So the electrician is basically paid from his fees that come in. Because of the way accounting works, we have to record those fees as a revenue, and then he has an expense. So the expense is zero. There's no budget for it because it's being offset by the
Okay.
revenues. The town retains, I think, $100 out of that.
Would that also apply the same thing to the animal licensing fees are supposed to go to offset some of the budget of the ACO, I think?
Correct. You have to record those.
So
for
it would be,
accounting
but it would be a
standards.
similar thing. So if I was to see it again,
Yeah, correct.
okay, thank you.
So we record those as revenues. I've done a history for the past 5 years on the amount of income that you're bringing in for the ACO, and what you're spending in your budget is a lot more than what you're bringing in.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know, does anybody else have anything from page 1 that they wanted to,
Not page one, not page one.
okay?
Mine's the last page.
On page 2, I had it looks like we overestimated extra time, perhaps. I didn't know if that was something we would want to look at, but I guess you'd really never know.
Right.
You just don't know.
You don't, so I scribbled out my note. And then on the not specified line, the life no med 214.
Okay, so our personnel policy says that we will pay 1 times your salary for life insurance. If they have the health insurance, it comes as part of the health insurance. If they opt out for health insurance, then we end up paying. We had a new employee, so it wasn't anticipated in the current budget.
Okay, thanks. That's all I have for page 2. Anybody got anything for page 3? I don't want to be like a page hog, but so number on the gen admin continued line 910 mileage travel. We have the unexpended balance is $1,532.96 currently.
Correct.
Is this going to be enough? Are we? Because it looks to me like we've expended quite a bit.
They're still coming in,
of
and
the
it was hard
budgeted
to
amount.
tell because the past couple of years, people haven't gone anywhere. There's
Right.
been no training
Right.
classes. There's been very little, going out and assessing and going out and do things. So it's a little hard to tell.
I wonder if we should add if we should look at our budget that we're putting together right now and see if we need to increase that, because it looks like that one's gonna, to me, that one looks like we're gonna overexpend. And that was the only thing I was curious about on page 3. Page 4, I had a question for Brad. You have this money and still in your budget. Do you have lots of plans? Are things underway for planning and for the?
Well, I'm going to have to make a few different changes from the pricing that I received Monday on mix, on paving. So I'm going to have a few things that I'm going to have to juggle, and it might mean one less road gets done or not as much gets done on it once I plug the numbers in. But the numbers that we have, I'll continue to work with.
Okay, so you're still feeling good about that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody got anything on page 5?
I do.
Okay.
Starting at the very bottom of page 4, the B&G mowing,
Yes.
the whole, looks like everything for mowing has all been expended?
No, what I did, Amber, if you look in the second column, any balance that was left over there has been transferred into line 90 because the new contract doesn't break
Yeah.
it out by building or area.
Okay.
And there's no way to tell. At some point, maybe we can get some square footage and I can start breaking it up, allocating it that way. But for right now, I can't allocate it because that's not how the contract's written. Do
Okay,
you
so
see
this
how it-
21,000 is still there? That's still going to be used in April, May,
Correct.
June?
If
Okay,
you look over to your outstanding encumbrance line, so $16,140 is what's left on that contract through June 30.
where's that number?
Outstanding encumbrance?
No, I see 10,000.
It's on page 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10.
Oh, okay.
10,000.
Okay, I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't see, okay.
I've had a lot of numbers happening
That's all right, I
today,
have two, yes.
So my apologies.
Okay. That answers my question.
Okay, so you're satisfied with that? Anybody else? Page 5? Moving on. Page 6. I'm looking at 147, building B&G Energy. All of it. I'm wondering about adjustment. I mean, we're pretty much over the heating season, but I know we buy other things.
Well, that includes electricity.
But what my note says is, does this need adjustment? Are we okay for the rest of the fiscal year? Do you think?
For propane,
Because looking at some of the lines, it looks like we have utilized more than half.
correct, and we have, where am I? April, May, and June left, so you only have 3 months left.
Yeah, we should be okay.
Okay, well then, that's cool. And that was just a question.
Oh, that's fine.
Because I remember when we talked during budget, allocations, what we were talking about is what is the price of energy going to be? What is this going to cost? What is that going to cost? And so I just wanted to make sure that
I think we're going to be okay. The next bill that comes in would be the one for March coming into April. So that should be the bulk of it as the days get lighter.
Great, thank you. Page 7, anyone?
I have one question under transfer station, the professional services
Metals.
metals.
When
Okay.
we negotiated the contract for metals, we had already written the budget. So there wasn't a budget for that. The contract was they would start charging us for metals in lieu of charging us a fuel surcharge.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You still look like you have a question.
No, so we don't make any money off the metal that gets dumped in there?
We do,
The
but
town.
it's in the revenue line.
Okay. Could you get me what that is?
Sure.
Thank you.
Anything else, page 7?
Is that in the revenue line of the transfer station?
What?
Does that metal money go back to the transfer station account?
In the reserve account?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
And we'll go over that when we go to the next section, the
Yeah.
operating section of your budget.
Anything else on page 7? Page 8. I had a question in the beginning, the first section, Parks and Rec continued, where there was a budget adjustment of 350 in 2 lines. I was just wondering what that was.
Correct. We had to move $350 into contracted services because the pest control was more than what we thought it was going to be.
Okay. That is all I had, but keeping in the spirit of where we are and what we've been doing. Does anybody else have any issues on page 8? Page 9.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. That's after 9, right?
We know where
Page
Michelle
10.
wants to be.
I have one. I totally forgot what the overlay is.
What overlay is when you calculate your taxes, you're allowed a certain percentage of money
Yep.
for, for abatements,
Okay,
for
all right,
things
that's,
like that.
okay,
And that's
yep,
what the overlay
all right.
consists of.
That's why I blanked. I was like, I know I have notes somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Well, then, I say that the quarter has been done going over.
All right. On to outstanding.
Those are the outstanding encumbrances that go with this.
So on your next section, the operating for the budget,
Mhm.
I gave you an updated list of where we're at. And we haven't looked at contingency yet, or we looked at it, but we tabled it.
Mhm.
So I'd like to start there. Top of page 6, top of page, bottom of page 6, top of page 7. So we had some incidentals, especially with storms this year. Most of the picnic tables at Bunganut are smashed. There was a large tree. Brad gracefully took it out of the roads budget, but we had nowhere to apply any expenses that were incurred from that.
Jeanette, do you know what each of these items cost?
Each of what items do you?
Well, you have the Bastier, the select board could have used this money for down trees at Bunganut, broken picnic tables, traffic cones for roads because of severe storm damage. Do you know what those would have cost to?
They're actually in ARPA and the budget. Do you remember how much the tree was? 1,500?
The trees that were cleaned up,
Yeah,
that we
Yeah.
took care of was 4,000.
4,000.
Yeah, and the picnic tables are something around the one, they like 300 each or something
Yeah.
like that for the
Yeah,
picnic
they're
tables.
300 each. They're at the
Yeah.
end section.
Those were in ARPA too.
Yeah, well, the ones we're replacing
Yeah, that, yeah.
are in your capital
Yeah.
improvement for $2,000.
Yeah.
The new ones are in
right,
ARPA.
are in ARPA, yeah.
And what do traffic cones cost, Brad?
The what?
Traffic
What do
cones?
traffic cones cost?
45 apiece.
It's just a placeholder to, when something like this does occur,
Right.
you have something that you can use to fix it.
Well, I know they said there's more damage down there that they may need help with. There's that other tree down the other end.
Yep.
That still needs to be taken care of.
It's a DEP question now,
Yeah,
because it's 100% in the water.
right, yeah. But they're still gonna need the money to
Yeah,
do it when
Right.
it's all taken care of.
There is brush all over the place. We're using some other funds that we didn't end up using the whole amount this year to do some of that cleanup. So we kind of got a little lucky there.
But that's sort of a contingency built into the budget, isn't it?
Mm.
Well, not what we planned on, cost what we were expecting it to cost.
I know, I feel this way about contingency funds. That's just out in the open that you have this in case you need it. Sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. But I feel like, and I wish I would have made notes on this too, but I feel like some of the stuff that I've seen that some of the budget items kind of seem like they do maybe have a little contingency built in like that there is money available for things like that. And so that's why I've never been a fan of that, of a contingency fund. although I understand the concept. And yeah, this year you could have used it. Last year, maybe nothing happened. You didn't need it and you didn't have it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna vote for it to be a thing. If I hear a motion.
I mean, I can make a motion just so we can discuss. Do you want to?
Well, we've been talking about it because that's where we wanted us to start. So it's up to you.
I'll make a motion for $2,500 for contingency.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded for $2,500. Is there any discussion? Not hearing any, I will call for the vote. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Whoops.
Was that a yes from you, Vicky?
No, it wasn't supposed to be, but everybody was doing that. And I just
Okay.
switched. Honestly, I really didn't mean to. I don't know. I'm getting senile.
It's okay, I just
It
wanted to be
happens,
sure.
peer pressure.
Yeah.
All
Just
those
wanted to be
opposed.
sure.
Can I change it to nay now?
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
I
thank
wrote
you.
it.
That way, I really didn't mean to do that. I'm questioning myself right now.
Okay, so on buildings and grounds, waste services, you guys had already approved this budget, but we had to go back after a conversation with, oh, sorry,
The blue sheet, isn't it?
6, 9,
page 13.
13, yeah.
See, Funny Nuts, yeah, Funny Nuts on there.
Waste services, okay.
So the first thing is, we had a conversation with the Y regarding Buckingham Park. And there were two things that they really brought to light. Number one was they really need a dumpster so that the animals don't get into the garbage. Because right now Dave's getting in there and there's creatures running around everywhere. So I changed the language for trash pickup there to also include dumpsters, depending on which way we can go. And we're still looking into that. The other thing is, they mentioned that there is a need for 2 additional porta potties.
Yeah.
At Bunganut. So I added 2 additional porta potties there for a total of $680. So that increased your line that you had previously voted by $680. So if you go to page 19, the total is 8,000, no, that's the wrong one. Page 18, the total for buildings and grounds
Yeah.
is now $335,340.
Okay.
Do you want to stay with your previously voted number, or would you like to rescind and revote?
I'll move, we raise the number.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that?
So it's $680 more than what we voted on. That's-
Correct.
Okay.
Which is a total, are we?
That's the contingency.
Yeah, thanks. Is that what that is? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Nobody's opposed to that. I'm just waving my hand randomly.
So is
I am in
everybody-
favor. It
I'm
was
just trying to
unanimous.
note.
It was unanimous.
5-0.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Raise both hands.
Really? Seriously?
So then the next thing that was left open is South Waterboro Reserve. That's on page 20. And they decided to put 50,000 in there.
I think it makes sense. I mean, if it's heading towards Brad's, it's for matching funds, right?
Absolutely.
Excuse me?
Brad, that was the South Waterboro Road. That's the reserves to go towards the matching potential state
Yes,
funds.
it is.
Okay.
That was what, Morris was always in favor of that. He
Yeah,
wanted
and
to
we
start
skipped the
that.
last 2 years. We
Yep.
haven't put anything in, so.
Okay. I make a motion For the 50,000, do we do it by total on this one, Jeanette, or is that?
No, just the
we-
50,
just-
because it's reserved, so
Okay.
they have to be a separate warrant article.
So I make a motion for the 50,000 and the road, South Waterboro Road Reserve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You are opposed. 4-1 then.
Okay, the next section that we have are the Goodwin Mills Fire and Rescue Reserves. It starts at the bottom of page 20 and goes over to page 21. The only difference here is the vehicle reserve, which increased by 10,000. And those have to be voted separately.
And that's not the, like, fire trucks or ambulances or,
The vehicle reserve, we pay $55,000 a year on the lease.
okay.
So it is for
So it
the
is for
fire
the fire-
truck
okay,
and the
so it's-
ambulance and the, whatever we purchased with the lease.
But the total is 90,000, correct?
Yeah, for the 50, the 16,
For all of it,
and the
yes.
14.
And you want the lines done separately?
Yeah, you have to do them separately.
Okay, so I make a motion for $60,000 under vehicle, Goodwin Mills Reserves.
I second it.
It's 60?
Down here. That was the previous, it went up 10 grand, she
Right.
said.
I'm looking at the wrong page, so
It's right at the top of.
I'll be all right, I
20
think.
21.
Yep. Is there any more discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Facility reserve,
I'll make a motion for the 16,000.
I second.
Any discussion?
Can you clarify what the difference is between the facility and a building?
so the facility, I don't know why they consider this, but equipment.
Okay, so the stuff
there's
in the
fluid
building.
packs and those kind of
Oh,
things
okay,
versus the actual building itself.
okay.
So was it that it
I know it's
seconded?
confusing.
Brad seconded.
I second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, building,
I make a motion for 14,000 for building.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, that takes care of those. Outsourced general admin, which starts right below it.
Mhm.
We've reviewed this, we were waiting on some numbers at one point. The total for that is 194,200.
Any of these numbers in ARPA?
Nope. Basically contracted services, Brad.
The salt shed equipment and the transfer station equipment are in ARPA
That's what I thought too.
under electrical.
You're looking at 2023 budget.
Yeah, one is 22 and the other one's 23. One column is in for transfer station is under 22 and then the salt shed's under 23.
Yeah, down towards 51, Jeanette.
What? Huh?
Yeah, what do you?
Is this what you're talking about, Brad, down here, the 1,500 here? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
what he's
50.
talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what you guys voted last year in 2023,
Okay,
because you wanted me to insert the previous
The
year's
previous year.
budget.
I see
Yeah,
that
so
now. I was
that's
looking
an-
at this
that is an
column.
ARPA.
Yeah, no, that is part of 2023,
Mhm.
and same with this.
We're at zero.
This definitely is in ARPA though.
Yeah, and we took it out and we put it in ARPA, but last year
Okay,
we had voted it.
okay,
Everyone set?
yeah, I am.
That was for the $14,000? We're talking about in building? No?
No,
Oh, then we moved on. The next
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Man, I'm lost today. What the heck? So it's been too long since we had a
Yeah.
meeting, I guess.
so basically we just need to vote on the final number.
Yes,
Yep.
on this portion.
Okay. So I make a motion for the $194,200 for general admin.
Have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Is there any discussion?
Well, I thought that there's $7,000. Is that from last year? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
I got it.
tree
They're close.
Yes,
If we don't.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, wait, never mind. Okay,
I
never
did the
mind.
same thing too, like, no,
Yeah.
no, it's okay, it's all
No.
right.
Okay, I'm good.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of $194,200 for general admin? Say aye.
Unanimous?
Yes.
Okay, the next section is outsourced other. That includes the library, cemetery, historical society, and PSAP.
Do you vote these all together or separate?
You can vote them all together.
Okay, then I can't vote.
Did you make that motion?
No, I
okay.
abstained from the library, so if
Okay,
that's
so
gonna
you're
be in there, I'm
abstaining,
gonna
yeah.
abstain.
I will make a motion for $190,389.
Second,
All right. I go to the wrong page now? Where did you see that?
23.
Where is that number?
24, right here.
Okay.
page 24,
24,
top of the page, very, very top is the totals.
so right here.
This 158,000.
190.
190. That's
190,
190,
389.
Okay, there it is. Finally. There, discussion? That's it, now that I found it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Carries unanimously.
Okay, outsourced Goodwin Mills Fire and Rescue with the 48-hour coverage.
We can just do for the bottom number.
Yes.
So that's gonna be broken up, right?
What do you mean broken out?
What, didn't we decided that when we had the meeting that it was gonna be 24 hours, it was gonna be, and the 24
No,
was gonna be
the
separate?
Board of Selectmen put it into one article.
Dayton had agreed to not the 48.
Oh, Dayton agreed?
Yeah, Dayton
Yeah.
agreed to
They
the
did.
48.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know-
I
Oh,
notified
because we didn't get an
Matt
answer that night.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it was,
Yeah,
it
I
was
took
discussed at
the
the
next night.
workshop that
Okay,
Dayton
okay.
came back and agreed.
So if Dayton agrees. then-
Yes,
Yep.
yes, they did.
I notified Matt and Jared the day after.
I make a motion for 631, I can't say it, 630, I can't-
630,
190.
190. Can't say that one. Oh.
Second, is there a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? We went round and round on that. Say rip the Band-Aid off.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anyone opposed? Looks like it carries unanimously as well.
Okay, last but not least, before we get into the other stuff, other CIP, that's computer equipment. We need to replace the two Kyoceras out front. They're 7 years old currently. We're not being able to get parts. The meeting room, installing cameras in the vault for security, map racks, poison ivy mitigation at Chadbourne, picnic tables from the storm, etc.
Okay, how much is the vault cameras? So go past that.
1960. It's,
How is that gonna, is it overhead? How can it actually literally see what you're doing in there? Aren't there
so
two
in
cameras
your
that,
packets.
well, are there two cameras that follow the hall, both hallways going to the vault?
No.
No.
So in your packets, I gave you the conversations regarding the
Right.
vaults. And in there, there's a map. That somebody so kindly drew up
Okay.
as to how it's going to look.
This one here.
Yep.
Okay, so it's gonna be 3 cameras.
3 cameras, 2 pointing one direction because we have 3 rows
Right,
in there.
right.
So 2 pointing down one side and 1 pointing the other side. And this is due to a situation that you had several years ago where some things were taken out of there
Yep.
and destroyed.
I don't think, no, never mind. Doesn't matter what I think.
Is there a camera that shows the door to the vault right now, so you would know who was going in there?
There's actually 2, one going this way, one going this way.
The reason being, I think for the camera inside would be the extra security that when somebody is in there doing something that you can probably see what they're doing rather than just who's going in there. I think that was the thing. To me personally, we could do away with that and then not put those in by limiting who has access. Like this whole, I mean, we've had this discussion before and it worked when I was on the board. I never had a key to that. If I needed to get in there for something, I had somebody came with me, let me in.
Right.
Have 2 people go inside.
Great. I mean,
Have a process in place for that. Yeah, I guess it's just, I know even just bringing stuff in there after like voting and putting stuff in there, if they lean in a shelf, they can do whatever they want. You can't see it.
Mm.
So to me,
Right,
it's
but you can
almost
see
like,
if they take papers out.
well, they can stick it in
so you
their
could
shirt
put, you
or
could
move
put
it
something
somewhere
in,
else.
take it
And-
out.
And I'll tell you, even though there is a procedure right now for 2 people
Right,
and no less, that doesn't work out well. Because they gotta go in there and get money in the morning. That has not been happening. So it's just an added security measure.
So we gotta vote on this as in the entirety?
Mm,
Well, you can take
Or
it
not,
out if you want.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move the $44,335.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Mm. Deep in reading thought? Are you discussing?
deep in
or-
reading, deep in reading.
Are you ready to vote?
Yeah.
All those in favor of 44,335?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No one's opposed because it's unanimous.
Okay, next section.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, she's got another section.
Yep.
We have the salaries and benefits.
are we having a joint meeting?
Yes, do you want to do the salaries and benefits with the board and then we'll just move to our table and have them come up here. and then
Well, that's
have
what I
it
was
explained.
figuring, because I think that's what
Yep.
a lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
switch
want to
the
hear
camera,
this.
And we'll
Okay.
just do jointly salary in front of with the select board.
Okay.
Is that
Sounds
okay?
good with me.
All right, I'll go shut the camera off for that section.
Wow, thanks.